Hi everyone, this is Mr. Ronald and welcome back. So, last week I gave you a PowerPoint about electricity and magnetism. So, we already started learning a new lesson, right? So, before we have our new lesson for today, let's have a short review. Okay, so what did we learn last week? So last week we learned the importance of electricity, right? So electricity is very important in our lives. It's gonna be very hard to live a comfortable life without it because many of the things in our homes use electricity. So we have our rice cooker, our blender, our washing machine. A lot of the stuff that we have in our house use electricity. So without electricity, it would be a difficult life. Now, there are two main sources of electricity. The first one is mains electricity. So mains electricity, most of the large appliances in our house use mains electricity, including washing machine, TV, and computer. Now, the other source of electricity is the battery. Now, battery operated stuff are usually small. That's why they require a small amount of energy, including a torch like this one. Okay, and also alarm clocks and even our toys. Okay, let's start our new lesson. So for today's lesson, we are going to learn how electricity flows in a circuit. But before we do that, let's try to learn or know what the words, what new words we need to learn for today. So we need to learn the words cell, flow, electricity, complete circuit, and current, and finally terminal. Okay, so I have here in my hands a torch. Okay, so I think you also know it by flashlight. Now, how can we make this flashlight work? What do we need? Okay, right, we need a source of energy. Okay, but before we try to look for a source of energy, let's look at the inside of a flashlight first. So let's look at, this is the first part. Okay, this is where the lights are. It's composed of 3 lights or bulbs right there. Okay, and then this is the inside. I don't know if you can see it, but it has a spring inside. Okay, it's like made of a metal wire that goes like this. Okay, right. Now, of course, as I've said a while ago, we need a source of electricity, and these cells are very good source of electricity because a flashlight is, or a torch is very small, so we don't need like a big source of electricity, right? So we can put these into this flashlight to make it work. Okay, so let's try to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna put it like this, okay, inside. Okay, let's try to put one more because this flashlight requires 2 cells. Okay, let's put the cover back. Okay, and let's see if it's going to work. Do you think it's gonna work? Okay, yes, it does. It works. Okay, so it means that the cells inside make this flashlight work. Now, how does it work? Okay, so the torch works because each cell, okay, pushes the electricity. Okay, so it has energy inside. It has stored energy inside, and the torch works or lights up because the energy is being pushed by the cell. This makes the bulb light up. Okay, so I'm gonna show you here a picture of the inside of a torch. Now, electricity, remember this, electricity can only flow in one can only flow. What do you mean by flow? It means it's gonna move, right? Okay, like water in the river, it flows, right? So electricity only flows in one direction. So it doesn't go up and down at the same time or left and right at the same time. It can only go from left to right or right to left and not in two directions. Okay, so we call the flow of electricity as electric current. Okay, so you can think of current as the water in the river. So the river, of course, has water, and when the water is moving, okay, we can say that there is electric current. Okay, now in the torch, the current flows from one end of the first cell. Okay, so by the way, a cell has two sides or two ends. So one here, okay, and the other one is right here. Okay, so the electricity flows from one end of the first cell to the other end. Then it flows to the next cell, and then to the bulb and back to the first cell. Okay, so it's like this. So for example, if we put the cell like here, right? Okay, and it's here. Okay, so imagine it's inside, right? Okay, so it's gonna go, and then this is the bulb right here, right? Okay, so it's gonna go from one end. So it's gonna go from here and then here. Oh, so from here, sorry, it's gonna go around. So it's gonna go here. It's gonna go up here into the light, and then back down here, and then back to the first cell. Do you understand? So it's gonna go in circles. Okay, and electricity flows from the negative terminal to the positive terminal. Now we have two new words there. Okay, terminal, right? Positive, three new words actually: terminal, positive, and negative. What are those things? Okay, now a cell has two sides. Again, this side and this side. So this side is what we call the negative terminal. If you look here, you're gonna see I don't know if you can see it. You can see a minus sign right there. Okay, and then here on the other side, you're gonna see a plus sign. So that means that's the positive terminal, right? Again, negative terminal, positive terminals. Okay, each cell has two terminals, negative, positive. And we also have, like, the cells also come in different sizes. It can have like this big, it can also be like this small. It's a little smaller compared to the first one. And we can also have it in this size, right here, like way smaller, okay? And we can also have it in this shape, like square one, okay? But they all have the same job. Now, what happens if we put the cells in the wrong direction? So for example, okay, so I have here a cell. Again, this is the negative terminal, and this is the positive terminal. So we have here the flashlight, right? So I'm gonna put the negative terminal close to the spring or the coil, okay? Put it in. Okay, let me show you, okay? And then here, I'm gonna put, again, so we have on top the positive terminal, and then here I'm gonna put the negative terminal on top of the positive terminal. Okay, right, so let's see if it's gonna work. Okay, yes, it does work, right? Okay, now what if we try to put it like this? So I have the positive here again, as you can see, and let's try to put two positives facing each other. Okay, so two positives facing each other. Let's see. Closing it, and it doesn't work. Okay, so what does it mean? So it means that the cell will work only if we put a positive end of the terminal with the negative end. Okay, so positive with a negative, or negative with a positive. So it should look like this. Okay, so we cannot put it like this way, two negatives, okay, or we cannot put it like this way, two positives, because it won't work. Okay, right? Now, let's continue. Let's look at the different components of a simple circuit. Now, we can actually make a circuit, and it's very easy because we only need a few components. What do you mean by components? Components are parts. Just like our body, we have different body parts. We have head, we have arms, we have legs. Circuit also has different components. We have a couple of them. Let's start with the one you know already, which is the cell. Of course, we need to have a source of electricity, and in this case, we need cells. And then we also have to have this one. It's a light bulb. It's very small, right? Okay, we can also have this one, but this one requires more energy. Okay, and then we have the wire. Okay, the wire. Okay, and then this one is the wire, right? Okay, and of course we need to have a bulb holder like this. Okay, now the cell, of course, it stores energy, right? Okay, so usually the energy it stores is around 1.5 volts. You can see the number on the cell itself. You can just find the number here, somewhere here. Okay, let me just find it here. Oh, it's here. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but it's somewhere there. 1.5. Okay, and then of course this one stores energy. Okay, now the light bulb, of course, is the one that we use to see things, right? Because if it's dark, we can use a light bulb, right? So usually a light bulb is made of glass on top, and then at the bottom it's made of metal because it's good for electricity. And then we have a wire here. Now the wire has two parts. Okay, so the wire, inside the wire, okay, is a metal called copper. Now copper is good for conducting electricity. Okay, and it's covered in plastic like this, red or rubber sometimes. Okay, because you need to protect yourself from being, electrocuted, right? Okay, so now we're going to construct a simple circuit. So you're gonna need your bulb holder. In your bulb holder, you have there screws on each side. So you're gonna, you're gonna have to cut open and expose the wire like this, so you can connect it there. Okay, and then at this two ends, of course, it's also open. Right, so we're gonna need to put the bulb in the bulb holder like this. Okay, and then you're going to need, what do you need next? We need a source of electricity, right? So we need these, right? Okay, so I already put them together using an electric tape. Okay, but you don't have to, but we can try, we can try with one first. Okay, so I have here. Now, this experiment is very safe because, again, the amount of electricity is not that much. So it means you don't have a chance of getting electrocuted. But make sure that your hands are dry when you use them. Okay, or when you do the experiment. So you're going to put the wire on the negative terminal like this. Okay, hold it with your finger like so. Okay, and then let's try to put the other one on top. And see, sorry, what happens. So what happened? What happens? So now the bulb is lighting up, right? Yay! Excuse my fingers, okay? Now let's try to use two cells, sorry, okay? Let's have this one and this one. Okay, I have to make sure I do it right. Okay. Now, look, I'm using two cells, and look at the brightness of the bulb. It's so bright, right? Why do you think it's brighter? Can anyone tell me? Yes, right. It's brighter because it has more source of electricity, right? Okay, again, let's review. What are the different components of a circuit? So number one, we have cell. Next one, we have the bulb. And number three, we have the wire, and finally we have the bulb holder. Okay? Right. So, do you have any questions? Now, I think that's it for today. I hope you learned something new about electricity and electrical components. So I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.